Hello everybody, in this video we're going to discuss weapon defense, knife defense. I've been really reluctant to share videos on this because they're so prone to misunderstanding, and it's one of these things that I feel I need to be in a room with someone to watch them do these drills that we're going to discuss in a moment in order to get maximum benefit. Nevertheless, there's been a lot of requests around weapon defense, knife defense, so I feel I should include something on it in the app. Again, this is a short video, and I just want to make sure that you need to be really mindful about the limitations of this. To teach this completely, it's one of these things I definitely need to be in the room with you. So a couple of fundamentals, right? I am totally okay with martial play. You know, I'm okay with doing the fancy locks, the fancy throws, the fancy ground stuff, the fancy kicking, just for the fun and enjoyment of it, okay? That stops when it comes to weapons defense. To me, at this point, it's so serious that everything we've got to teach has to have a good chance of working for the majority of people. So it's got to be simple, it's got to be basic. I therefore don't teach any of the fancy kind of disarms and all that kind of stuff. In my experience, they stand next to no chance of working whatsoever. I don't teach any of the really traditional stuff, you know, that you sometimes see where, you know, guy attacks and move off line and do your kick and your wrist lock and strip the knife and all that kind of stuff. Thankfully, my instructors saw through all of that, so I didn't get much of that in my instruction, and when I did, it was generally these traditional ones, they're not good. That's why we don't practice them. There's also a view as well, is, you know, that you shouldn't teach knife defense at all. You know, I've heard some people that I respect talk about that because it's such a difficult thing that anything you teach is going to be problematic. Anything you teach may develop false confidence. But I'm of the view that you're better teaching something rather than nothing, but you've just got to keep it really, really, really basic. Now, I have had students who have been attacked by people with knives, seriously attacked, you know, people have gone to them to do severe damage for them, and they've got out of those situations okay. So there's some empirical knowledge to kind of back up what I'm going to show you. This stuff has worked. But it essentially comes down to 4 drills, and this is it. But the trick is not technique, it's drills, and you need to drill them. You need to have someone watching you who then can correct, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant about sharing this stuff via video. So, okay, that's enough of an introduction, right? I just want to briefly discuss each of the 4 drills before you see me kind of recap them. Okay, so as I mentioned, there are 4 drills, right? 4 drills. The first drill is what we call on the draw. So the idea is that your partner fakes reaching for some kind of weapon. When they reach for it, that is your trigger to go. You jam the hand, smash into the head a couple of times so they're confused, and then sprint and run. You run towards the exit. Some people say, well, you run away from the knife hand. You run to where the door is. You know, it's not whether you're left or right or forwards or back. It's always where's the escape? Where's the crowd of people that can help me? You know, run towards the escape. As I'll mention in the video, one thing to avoid when you do the jam is grabbing, because the instinct for human beings is when we grab, we don't like to let go. So if you think way back to our, you know, deep ancestry, you know, our ancestors are up in the trees, you know, falls, little baby kind of grabs hold of the branch. As long as he holds on to the branch, he's okay. If he lets go, he falls, right? So it's always better to keep hold than let go. And we have that instinct still. When we grab things, we want to stay holding on to them. So it's very important when you practice this that you don't grab on the first drill, because the danger is you'll end up staying there when you could have ran. And escape is the key. Okay, the second drill that we're going to, this is on the presented weapon. So the person's not attacking you with it, they're threatening you with it, within arm's length. So as soon as it's within arm's length, again, same thing, bang it out the way, bang, bang, double smash to the head and escape. The third drill is one I call the awkward distance, which was a drill taught to me by one of my teachers. And the essential idea is that they're not close enough that you can get to them or the weapon, but they're not so far enough away you feel confident running, right? So we assume the posture that I'll discuss, that the idea is to protect the peripheries, to funnel the enemy's attacks, if you like, down the centre line, and then to make sure that we're ready to step offline. When I've drilled this with my teachers in the past, it's been taekwondo body armour, rubber knives, head guards, visors, all that kind of stuff. You can obviously practice it safely just by using an empty hand to mimic it, or a rolled up piece of paper, like a bit of a pool noodle that's been chopped to size, something along those kind of lines. Don't practice it with wooden ones, don't practice it with rubber ones if you haven't got body armour, because they can still fly up and catch you in the eyes and all that kind of stuff. You know, safety is absolutely key. And the fourth drill is one we call the mad scramble. So the idea is all gone wrong. This guy's going nuts and you're close in. We want to keep the options down to a minimum. So the first thing is stop getting stabbed, right? So we're going to grab the arm as best we can, move off to the side. When we've got the position I'm going to show, we instantly go back to the hits and then we escape. So yeah, 4 drills, right? The presented weapon, threatening, the awkward distance, and the mad scramble. And they're the 4 key drills that we teach for knife defense. So we'll now have a look at those done. Okay, so we've got our 4 basic knife drills. As we said, for knife stuff, you've got to keep it really simplistic, nothing complicated, everything's got to be high percentage. So the 4 drills we've got, the first one is what we call on the draw. So the drill was the partner fakes going for some kind of weapon, reaching for some kind of weapon. As they do that, again, it's jam, 2 quick hits and run. As we said, it doesn't really matter how you jam, doesn't matter what part of the arm you get, doesn't matter what direction you run, we're trying to make it as simple as we can. The one thing we said to try and avoid on this stage is grabbing. Because the instant your hands locks on, the instinct is to keep hold. So you'll stay there fighting when you could have fled. So the idea again is there. So just bang bang and then you're gone. And that's the instinct. As soon as the hand goes, you've got a belief that he's going for a weapon. The next one we did was on what we'll call the presented weapon. So the guy's not trying to hurt you with it, but he's intimidating you with it. So it's this kind of thing. The weapon is close enough that I can get my hands to it. And so at that point there, as you threaten, the same thing again, smash, smash and run. You know, so scramble his brain, so when you do run, his ability to give chase is not as good as it could be. The third drill was what we call the awkward distance, which is the knife is out, but if I'm here, you know, I might stand a chance of just escaping and running. If I'm, you know, I'm a bit closer, I can't get to it, you know, easily without moving in, and don't want to do that. And I can't escape easily either. So the posture we took is arms towards you, so the inside of the arms are protecting you. Arms out, it's just in a natural talking way. If he was to slash, you've got your arms there already, if he moves into doing, right? So they're there. If like this, if he comes down the centre line, you're ready to turn. So you've got ties to back him. As you said, there's one thing karate people are brilliant at, is blocking straight punches coming towards them. So we're doing the same thing again. 1, 2, and scramble. So we practice it that way to start with, where your partner's doing a single shot, and then we increase it to multiple shots. But the idea is the same. So Lee comes in from there, just bang, bang, bang. You know, so I do my best to get off the line. While I'm just pulling that out, boom, boom, I'm looking to get my escape. And then the 4th drill is what we call the mad scramble. So everything's gone wrong, haven't been able to escape, the knife is out and it's happening. So you want to keep the objectives really simple. So the first thing we said is, if that knife is coming, I need to get some kind of control on it. The one hold we look for is to grab, pull the arm across from me and step to the side, so it's far enough away from my hand, you can't simply change hands. If I've grabbed it here, it swaps and I've got another problem, right? So it's the idea of getting the arm and moving off the side. I'm not doing that because I want a lock or a takedown or anything like that. I'm just getting it to here, so I'm now away from the line of it, I can give me hits and then I can escape. So we'll start with it slow and then we'll drill it up. As we say, if he gets you, there can't be any sort of, you go, oh, I've got it wrong, let's go again. The nature of the drill is if he gets you, you keep on going. As we talked about, statistically, most victims of knife crime survive it. All your internal organs are inside your rib cage, you know, he's got to get through them or under them. The chances are you're going to be okay, so you just keep going. Right, so the idea is he just comes up and he gets to the side as best he can, 1, 2, and then flip. And if he gets you a couple of times during the drill, you get in the habit of not caring so much that you kind of stop and reset. All about the mindset. Is that okay? Okay, so they're the 4 drills. Now, if having watched those 4 drills, you think, oh yeah, I get how Ian approaches knife defense, I'm telling you, you don't. Unless you've spent time in the room with me, where I can do these drills with you, and I can watch you do them, and we can talk about all the various elements, and I can give corrections. All you've got here is you've looked at the cover of the book. You haven't read a single word, I promise you. So, and that's why I was reluctant to make this video, because part of my worry is that people watch this and go, oh, I get it, and they run off and start teaching it. They don't fully understand it, and they cause more harm than good, right? and nevertheless, hope it's of some use. You know, I hope it's of some use. But please exercise great caution with this stuff, and be aware that watching a video of me briefly describing it isn't the same as spending time with me over a period of time to make sure you understand it. So they are simple drills, but it's not the drills that are key. It's doing the drills while being supervised that leads to the real learning, right? Another thing as well is, you know, safety is absolutely key when you're drilling this stuff. So even if you're using like a rubber knife, a wooden knife, or a blunt metal one, I know of people who've like been hit in the throat, been hospitalized, who've lost eyes because they're practicing knife defense in a way that's not safe. So to start with, you know, we always say, just let's do it as an empty hand to start with. Once the students have got the hang of that, then we'll introduce things like rolled up bits of paper and, you know, carefully cut up bits of pool noodle and that kind of stuff. So head protection is very important, eye protection to make sure nothing can go wrong. And then the guy on the other end needs to, you know, have safety in mind too. So there's lots that this video can't cover. I do hope it's been of interest. You know, please execute extreme caution. There's no way you understand it fully just after watching this video. Please do not practice this stuff unless you're under the direct supervision of somebody who's suitably qualified and experienced to cover this stuff with you, because accidents can and do happen, you know. But yes, there's been lots of requests for something on knife defense. I hope this gives you like a brief idea of what it is, and maybe helps illustrate some of the problems and the beginnings of some of the thinking, and I hope it's of use. Of course, if there are specific areas you want me to go into more detail on, you know, that's what this app exists for. By all means, you'll send me the email, send me your questions, and I'll make sure we can do some follow-up videos on it too. Yes, so I hope this has been of some use.